Have you ever wondered how the environment, gender, and antimicrobial drug resistance are interconnected? Welcome to a journey of discovery into an intriguing triad of factors that play a vital role in our health and well-being. First, let's talk about antimicrobial drug resistance. This is a global health issue where bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms can resist the effects of medications that once could successfully treat them. Now, consider the environment. It's not just about the trees and the air we breathe, it's about the environmental conditions that can foster the development and spread of these resistant microorganisms. Finally, there's the gender aspect. Yes, you heard that right. Gender can influence health outcomes, including the effects of antimicrobial resistance. These three factors, though seemingly unrelated, are interwoven in a complex dance that affects us all. They play a pivotal role in determining the efficacy of our treatments and our overall health. Isn't it fascinating how these seemingly unrelated factors can influence each other? To understand our main topic, we need to first comprehend what antimicrobial drug resistance is. Picture this: you're battling a common bacterial infection, and you're prescribed antibiotics, a type of antimicrobial drug. Now, these drugs work by targeting the harmful bacteria in your body. But over time, some bacteria evolve, developing mechanisms to resist the effects of these drugs. This, in essence, is what we call antimicrobial drug resistance. It's like an arms race between the drugs and the bacteria, and sometimes the bacteria are winning. This is a global concern because it makes treating common infections more challenging, and in some cases, impossible. It's like going back in time, where a simple scratch could become a life-threatening infection. This is why the medical field is in a constant battle to develop new drugs and strategies to outwit these ever-evolving bacteria. Now that we have a grasp on antimicrobial drug resistance, let's explore its correlation with the environment and gender. You might be wondering, how does the environment factor into this equation? Well, let's dive into that. Environmental factors such as pollution and climate change can contribute to the rise of antimicrobial drug resistance. Here's how. Pollution, particularly in water bodies, can contain traces of antibiotics and other pharmaceuticals. When bacteria are exposed to these traces, they can develop resistance, escalating the problem of antimicrobial resistance. Now let's take a look at climate change. With rising global temperatures, bacteria can thrive and proliferate more rapidly, further enhancing the scope for resistance development. But it doesn't stop there. These environmental factors can also indirectly influence gender disparities in health. For instance, in many societies, women are often tasked with fetching water. If the water is polluted and harbors resistant bacteria, the health of these women can be disproportionately affected. Clearly, the environment plays a significant role in the spread of antimicrobial drug resistance and health outcomes. But what about gender? Now let's delve into the role gender plays in this intricate puzzle. Gender disparities can significantly influence vulnerability to infections and access to healthcare. For instance, in many societies, women often face barriers in receiving timely and appropriate medical attention due to societal norms and economic factors. This delay in treatment can inadvertently lead to increased use of over-the-counter drugs, further fueling the issue of antimicrobial resistance. On the flip side, men, owing to societal expectations of stoicism, may avoid seeking medical care until their condition worsens, leading to the need for stronger, more potent drugs, thereby contributing to the resistance phenomenon. Moreover, research suggests that biological differences between genders can also play a role in how our bodies respond to infections and medications, which can impact the progression of drug resistance. So, while it may seem inconspicuous at first glance, gender plays a critical role in the rise of antimicrobial drug resistance. Gender, therefore, can't be overlooked when discussing antimicrobial drug resistance. So, how do these factors come together to impact antimicrobial drug resistance, you may ask? We've already examined the individual roles of the environment, gender, and antimicrobial drug resistance. But it's when these elements intertwine that the full picture begins to take shape. Imagine a puzzle. Each piece represents a factor: the environment, gender, or antimicrobial resistance. Individually, they provide a glimpse of the image, but it's only when you piece them together that the complete picture emerges. The environment influences the spread and development of drug-resistant microbes. Gender affects access to healthcare, influencing the misuse of antibiotics and thus resistance. Together, they contribute to the rising tide of antimicrobial resistance, a global healthcare challenge that demands our attention. Understanding these connections is our first step towards solving the complex issue of antimicrobial drug resistance. For today, this is Assistant Professor Abraham Tamarat signing off.